What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
What do you say to the American people who are confronting this new reality?
This is bigger than any one of us. This is calls for a national rallying to everybody move together.
I think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope. And you're doing sensationalism.
You know, I laid out in detail what I would do if were I president today. You can go to joebiden.com.
And the same with NBC and Comcast. I don't call it Comcast, I call it Concast.
First of all, I have to take care of those who in fact are exposed or likely to be exposed to the virus. And that means we have to do testing.
That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism.
Secondly, I would make sure that every state in the union had at least 10 places where they had drive-through testing arrangements.
Let's see if it works. It might and it might not.
This is an all hands on deck. This is, as someone said, maybe it was you, Jake, at the outset, this is bigger than any individual. This is bigger than yourself. This is about America. This is about the world. This is about how we bring people together and make the kind of sacrifices we need to make to get this done.
I happen to feel good about it, but who knows? I've been right a lot.
Who are we? We are the ones who step up for each other. I've got your back. You've got mine. Kindness, humility, empathy. It's not just talk. It's who we are. It's who we always have been. And no one can take that from us. The movement to bring it back, it started here. And here. And here. In school gymnasiums, community centers, the living room down the block. You'll be where? Okay, we'll be there. Who are we? We're the movement that will beat Donald Trump. Welcome. We're going to have to sweat for it. We're going to have to sacrifice and fight. We're going to have to lead. Everyone is going to have to lead with kindness, humility, empathy, and not just talk, but action. Action today, action tomorrow. Action until we win. And we will win if we do this together. It's who we are. It's who we always have been. Now let's show them.
President Donald Trump is tweeting out support for Michigan protesters.
These are people expressing their views. They seem to be very responsible people to me. I want them to be appreciative. And I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. Don't call the woman in Michigan. If they don't treat you right, I don't call. Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all.
Early January, Donald Trump is first warned of the virus. He ignores it.
We have it totally under control. It's going to be just fine.
Defends the Chinese government instead. January 30th, Trump's own cabinet secretary warns of a pandemic, raising concerns that the Chinese government isn't being transparent. Trump calls him an alarmist.
We think we have it very well under control. We're working very closely with China and other countries, and we think it's going to have a very good ending for us.
The next day, the Dow plummets 600 points. desperate to protect the stock market from sliding further, Trump continues to deny the threat and praise the Chinese government.
We're doing great in our country. China, I spoke with President Xi, and they're working very, very hard. And I think it's going to all work out fine. Looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away.
But global cases more than double, spreading to over 24 countries. February 25th, one of the CDC's top experts, Nancy Messonnier, speaks out, warning it could soon become a full-scale pandemic.
Disruption to everyday life may be severe, and I told my children that while I didn't think that they were at risk right now, we as a family need to be preparing for significant disruption of our lives.
Mr. Trump was, quote, furious as he watched the stock market crash after her comments. Trump didn't want to upset the markets. So for the last 5 days of February, the Trump administration took to the airwaves to deny the truth.
We have contained this, I won't say airtight, but pretty close to airtight.
Thanks to the president and this team's aggressive containment efforts, this disease, as Dr. Schuchat said, is contained.
February 27th, the market sees through the denials. The Dow continues to plunge, but Trump keeps up the false message.
It will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. I think we're going to get through it very well.
April turns into May. The virus doesn't disappear. There is no miracle. The cases mount. The death toll grows. More than 33 million Americans lose their jobs to the pandemic. Unemployment reaches Great Depression-era levels. Donald Trump doesn't understand. We have an economic crisis because we have a public health crisis. And we have a public health crisis because he refused to act. Donald Trump didn't build a great economy. His failure to lead destroyed one.
More than 20 million Americans are out of work, struggling to make ends meet. But Trump says,
today is probably, if you think of it, the greatest comeback in American history.
Trump's botched handling of the coronavirus pandemic cost jobs, and the unemployment rate is still at historic levels. Donald Trump either doesn't know what's going on, or he just doesn't care.
Donald Trump, too scared to face the people, too weak to lead. The nation marches for justice. And like a deer in the headlights, he's paralyzed with fear. He doesn't know what to do, so he hides in his bunker. Then he's afraid he looks too weak, so he has tear gas and flash grenades used on peaceful protesters, just for a photo op. The cries for justice grow. Where is Donald Trump? Too scared to face the people. Too small to meet the moment. Too weak to lead.
Is this who we are? Is this who we want to be? Is this what we want to pass on to our children and our grandchildren? Fear, anger, finger pointing? Or do we want to be the America we know we can be? The America we know in our hearts we could be and should be. I've said from the outset of this election that we're in the battle for the soul of this nation. American history isn't a fairy tale with a guaranteed happy ending. The battle for the soul of this nation has been a constant push and pull for more than 240 years. In some of our darkest moments of despair, we've made some of our greatest progress. We stand together, finally as one America, we'll rise stronger than we were before. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
This job is about protecting Americans, not tear-gassing them for a photo op. It takes strength, courage, compassion, resilience. That's a president.
To all the doctors and nurses working in the ICU units, hope you all know you're truly some of the greatest heroes this nation has seen. Take Tracy in Massachusetts. She's a nurse who's been treating veterans with COVID-19. Every day she's had to put on a hazmat suit and go to work for 12 hours, days on end, treating 5, 6 patients at a time. She says the hardest thing she's ever done. Her 5 teenagers are at home because school's closed. And she knows that every day she leaves her home, they're worried if she's going to come home sick or come home at all. And she's worried too. If it wasn't for folks like Tracy, our own families wouldn't have a chance to be reunited. You want to find a hero in America? They're all around us, and Tracy's one of them.